Good afternoon, or it's good night for me right now. Today I'm going to be talking about simple logic, no languages, just logic, and how we can use that to our advantage and make computers do stuff. Basically, everything boils down to a 1 or a 0 inside of code. And so how we refer to that is 1 is true, 0 is false. So I'm staying out of languages. I'm just going to use code. So if true, I'm going to say do something. And this is how computers work. What's the opposite of if? Else. Else, do something else. And this is how pretty much every program is run. It gets a little fancier, but this is how it stays. And you may be noticing a problem with this and how I wrote it. But if true, do something. Well, right now it doesn't know the limitations of do something. It could do something, and then it may try to parse this or try to read this as else or do something else. It may do everything. But a way we can denote that is if true, just do this. So if true, just do this something. Or else do this. So just putting brackets around it really makes a difference. And this is all computer logic is right here. If true, do this. If false, do this. You can basically think of it like this. If true, this. If false, this. You could also have it this way. If false, true. Ones and zeros. This would be a 0, this would be a 1. And that's what it boils down to. And it can get a little more complicated. Let's take it up a notch. So if I said if false, next time I'm just going to change it back. If true, it makes more sense. It's like double negatives. All right. If true and true, do this. If false, do this. So it's going to evaluate each of these segments. If true, do this. It's just like PEMDAS in math. Everything in the parentheses goes first. So if this is true, that makes this equation true. This parentheses true. If this is true, it makes the equation or the parentheses true. But if it's false, if one is false and the other is true, it's going to read the false, because both statements have to evaluate it true. So then it would jump down here. Let's actually put it in context so it'll make more sense to you. So if my name is Jonathan, do something. Else, do something else. Now this can also be compounded with if my name is Jonathan and my wife is Lindsay, which is true. My wife is Lindsay. Do something. Both of these inside of my parentheses have to evaluate to true. This is just basic computer logic. But if my wife is Stacy, which is not true, Stacy is not my wife. And it's evaluating, it's treating it as true. Like if my wife, which I do have a wife, that's true. This is the part that kicks it, is Stacy. It's going to say, nope, sorry. It doesn't even know this. It skips it and goes directly to else and does something else. All right, let's take it up one more step. Okay. So right now I am running a prayer request program. I'm just going to do some comments right here for you to see. Prayer request program. And I am trying to build a basic Facebook bot to where if somebody says, please pray for me, I have leukemia. I type that in my bot in Facebook. I'm going to dissect this. And then I'm going to do a specific response using this logic. So if, well, what can I do? Well, I can put the entire thing in here. But that's just a lot of, if they typed a long message like this, it would be really hard to evaluate. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create just a placeholder. I'm going to call it placeholder. I'm going to say placeholder is the same thing as please pray for me, I have leukemia. Okay? Then I'm going to say if placeholder. Well, that doesn't really say anything because this is just words. And how we say words in code is we just use these two quotes. Some different languages use different things. Some of them may just use one apostrophe or something like that, but most of them use the double quote. But this doesn't evaluate a true or false. So I have to give my equation true or false. So if placeholder dot contains, or placeholder contains, getting a little ahead of myself, if placeholder contains leukemia, say, I'm sorry you have leukemia. Else, what was that? You said. And that's how I'm going to build it. I'm going to pretty much pull every single word in the world for stuff, leukemia, heart attack, anything that's something you go to the doctor for, pain, sore, etc. And I'm going to say if placeholder, which is equal to everything that they've typed in, if it contains any of these words, just replace leukemia with heart attack. Or replace leukemia with pain. Or sore.